Michelle Bishop of NDRN, and Monica Flores of the LA County Registrar Recorder County Clerk's Office in a mock polling place.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to PAVA IRL. I am in sunny Los Angeles today here for the Future of California Elections Conference. But while I was in town, I had to stop by the LA County Recorder Registrar County Clerk's Office.
Close. Registrar Recorder County Clerk's Office.
So close, so close. To see the new voting system they've been developing, which I'm sure all of you have heard about. So I'm actually here in the demo room today, and I'm so excited because, like you, I've actually never seen this system in person myself, and today we're going to get a full demo. But first, I'm here with Monica Flores, who's the administrative manager at the office, who's going to tell us a little bit about the project. So tell us first, why did LA County decide to go this route? Why did you decide to develop a new voting system?
Sure. Well, first of all, we have a system that we currently operate that runs that was developed in the 1960s. So we have a great need to replace that system. We did a search out in the market and found that there's really nothing out there that meets the needs of LA County. The voting system vendors really focus on more mid-range counties, that are more common throughout the country. So being that we're so large and diverse, there was really nothing out there to meet our need. So we decided to take on this little project and just develop our own voting system. So in 2009, we launched this project, formerly known as the Voting Systems Assessment Project. Now that we're have a product that we want to implement, we're moved on to the Voting Solutions for All People.
Ooh, I love that title. And I would imagine that LA County is so big and so diverse that there must be a great challenge there, not just in terms of voters with disabilities, which is what our network does, but I would imagine you also have a need to provide multiple languages and so many different access needs for so many different types of voters. Yes?
Yes, that's correct. So we have approximately 5.2 million voters in LA County, and as you stated, there's a diverse range of needs. Various range and types of disabilities that we want to serve. And also we provide language services in 12 languages, with the largest number, again, of languages provided for any elections jurisdiction.
That's amazing, because I was thinking about that 5.2 million in one county, and that's more than some entire states.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's quite the challenge. So when you took on this project, I know that California is really, in California and LA County both are really collaborative in how they do this work and really transparent and open. So can you tell me a little bit about what the process looked like and how you got input from the broader community?
Yes, this has been a very, very open, transparent process that has engaged the community. Today, we've engaged approximately 3,800 voters, maybe a little more now. So what we did in this process is we, from the get-go, engaged our voters to learn what it is that they need. So we launched focus groups, we had surveys, we had community discussions. We worked with a lot of our local community organizations to discuss what the needs were from our voters. We took all of that information and then we engaged IDEA, which is a design firm, and said, here's all the data. We need a voting system that meets all these needs. They took that information, translated into some designs, and in their process as well, they went to voters' homes, interviewed, learned about their needs, learned about how they interact with certain tools and certain devices. So, you might have a voter that's in a wheelchair, and seeing them interact in their home and how their setup is would help inform our process. So IDEO did a lot of that. And then once they actually had prototypes to share, we put them in front of voters and said, we want to see you interact with this device. Tell us what you think of it. We learned a lot from the feedback the voters would give us, but also just from watching voters actually interact with the device. So, for example, we have a voter who's interacting with the device, and we see that he's struggling to figure out where to put that paper ballot, right? When he's done voting and he's crouching underneath, he puts it and can't figure out exactly where it's going. And we just observed the process. At the end, we asked, what did you think about it? He said, it was very easy to use. It was super intuitive, but we see that there's really more to it. When he was interacting with it, it really wasn't that easy. So what we did is we didn't just take his word for it. We saw how he interacted with it and then tweaked the device. So we tweaked it. There was a point in the design process where we said, oh, it might be good to have, the legs spread this way or an angle that way. Someone came in with a seeing eye dog, and the dog kind of bumped the leg, and we're like, okay, that wasn't a great angle to put it in. So seeing those interactions was extremely useful. So then, again, after all these iterations, we came up with this design that we think really meets the needs of our voters and as best as we can allows for voters to vote privately and independently.
I can see why people are so excited about this process and why the country's really talking about this, because people with disabilities in our experience, the Help America Vote Act is an amazing thing. And I think it's really driven innovation, it's driven accessibility, but our experience has largely been, look at what we made for you, don't you love it? After it's been created and built and is being sold to states and counties for use. And those types of things, like you're saying, they come up when you launch something. It's like an iPhone, right? They develop a new iPhone, it seems amazing, and then a million people buy it, and then they find out what all the bugs are that they didn't catch in the process. It sounds like you went through a process of catching the bugs beforehand.
Yes.
And that's truly different. So thank you for that. That's amazing. So you also do some work with Disability Rights California, I understand. That's actually our network affiliate here in California.
Yeah, we absolutely do. So we have an advisory committee that helps guide this process. The VSAP Advisory Committee. In that committee, we have members from different organizations, including Disability Rights California, United Cerebral Palsy of LA, and then a lot of community organizations that advocates for the rights of language needs, and just different groups within that body. And Disability Rights California has been very active with us. We've done a lot of work with them. They've assisted us with user testing. They've recruited testers for us, provided feedback, like I said, through the advisory committee. So just through different various channels have provided us a lot of feedback, a lot of guidance, a lot of advice. They've been a great partner to work with.
So I'm really excited to look at the voting system itself. But before we do that, can you just tell me quickly about this demo room that we're in today and how this is being used?
Yes, so we decided to set up this space here in our office as a way to demonstrate what the future of voting will look like in LA County. We could do videos, we could do flyers, but we really needed a space for people to come in and touch the device, interact with it. So that's what we set up here. So this space is open. We invite community organizations, we invite partners, we invite elected officials who are affected by the elections process. So our staff, just really the network of stakeholders and partners are coming through this process. Anyone can reach out to us, can ask for an appointment to come in and go through this lab. But really, again, it's a simulation of what voting will look like in the future for LA County voters with our new ballot marking device. You'll see a little bit about how the check-in process will work, because that's also changing here for us in LA. So yeah, we hope you enjoy it, and again, open invitation for anyone who wants to come in and enjoy the space with us.
So it looks like behind me here there's an actual check-in table where you can go through the whole process of checking and voting. And over here, is this the old system that's currently in use in California? Yes,
that is correct. That's the LA County system. So not California, but that's LA County system. Like I said, technology from the 1960s has been modified a little bit here and there as regulations have changed, but the core of it is a paper-based ballot that's kind of like a Scantron. That has worked very well for us, has held our, we've been able to hold our elections with integrity. It's just can use some improvement at this point.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, I'm so sorry. I keep saying California, not LA County. I grew up in New York, so we think all of California is LA.
No, very, very different from different counties in California. The great thing about California and the various counties is a lot of the counties are working together, right? And it's been a very collaborative process. Also, again, with these other counties where we work together to kind of modify our regulatory environment to allow for innovations like this. If it wasn't for recent legislations like SB 360, SB 450, we would not be able to implement this voting system. So while all of the counties are different and we have different voting systems, we've all really worked together to help improve voting in the state.
Great. Well, let's take a look at the system, shall we?
Let's do it.
Before we actually get down to voting, let's take a closer look at the demo room. We start here with the voter waiting area, which features some additional signage explaining how VSAP came to be and how it works. Then we move on to the voter check-in area, a setup of an actual voter check-in table that will be used for voters on Election Day here in LA County. Then you see the 3 existing prototypes of the actual VSAP machine that we're going to vote on today and that will be launched for voters in 2020. And then finally, as Monica mentioned, we have the history area where we see some of the legacy voting systems that predated VSAP in LA County. Alright, let's get to the vote, and I will be playing your voter today. A poll worker sits with a laptop at the voter check-in table.
Hi, good morning. May I please have your name and address?
Michelle Bishop, 123 Abbey Road.
Okay. May I please have your signature right here? I will be printing your ballot. Okay, here you go. You may proceed to any of the free voting booths.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The voting system, essentially a tablet built into a standing frame with a headset and additional controls readily apparent.
So this is actually a prototype of the system. These were actually hand built by your designer?
By our design firm partner IDEO, and we use this with our community engagement activities. We show it to people so that they can interact and see what the new voting experience is. So go ahead and start. You can touch the circle to start.
And is this an off-the-shelf tablet that's built into the system?
Yes.
Cool. All right. And then I want English. Next.
And you can see that it's showing you a little instruction on how you're supposed to orient your paper into the ballot, your ballot into the tray.
And if I needed it, I have a headset here, so I could be using the audio at this point as well.
That's correct.
And it looks like I've got a cutout here on the corner of the page so that if I'm not able to see, I know how to orient my ballot independently.
And any other way that you try to put in your ballot, it will not take it. It has to be oriented that way with the cut corner in the right.
The screen says loading ballot and then ballot loaded.
All right, my ballot is loaded. All right, I want to start voting.
Yes.
I'm clicking on the I want to start voting button.
All right, there are 3 contestants on today's ballot. When you reach the end, you will be able to review all of your selections. Next. President.
I can click on Thomas Jefferson or Abraham Lincoln, or
I'm going to write in a candidate. All right, I'm going to vote for myself. Oh, I hit the M twice. There we go.
I'm typing in my name and then clicking the next button. Then I get 3 choices for Commissioners of National Pastimes, and that's when my inner feminist comes out.
I'm going with the woman.
So this device also allows you to definitely skip contests, or also if you don't want, if it does not allow you to overvote. So for example, there are contests that you only are supposed to choose 2. Once you've chosen 2 candidates, it will disable the other candidates.
Okay, so I see like I've got skip or skip back here, so I can actually go back and change my choice if I wanted.
Yes.
Let's try it. I guess I'll go with Bill Russell.
See how it
and now I've overvoted. Oh, look at that. Cool. All right, I'm taking that one out. I'm going back.
Now I have a ballot measure proposing a national lottery with buttons for yes or no.
Do I favor a national lottery? I'm going to go with no. I haven't done my research. Do your research before you vote, folks. All right, now I can review my selections.
Yes.
I like the really simple graphics in the design.
The screen shows a review of my selections.
So this is your chance to review and also change your selections if you'd like.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So can I actually hit change here?
Yes.
Or I could do the back button if
You
I
can
wanted
do
to
that.
just go all the way back. I'm comfortable with my picks. I think I'd make a good president. All right. And I'm ready to print. So do I
Yes.
click here?
Click here and then next.
It feels pretty intuitive. I think there are a lot of the older systems that are still in use right now were created before we even had tablets or smartphones. And so they're just not as intuitive in terms of the technology that we're using every day.
Definitely. And we also want all our voters to have the same voting experience. So we have everything in one booth. Because compared to our old system, if you go look at that area, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 equipment for each need, for language needs, for audio needs. But for this, we incorporated everything in one so that everyone will have the same voting experience.
So there aren't going to be any voters hand marking a ballot.
Yes.
This won't just be set up in the corner in case people with disabilities come by. Everyone will be voting this system. And then it looks like it prints it out for me. And if I'm able to see, I can go ahead and verify my selections. One of the things I notice here is that it shows only the choices I made. It doesn't show the other choices, which is actually going to be easier for someone, particularly with developmental or intellectual disabilities, to understand.
Definitely.
If I'm not able to see this, to verify it, is there somewhere I can have this barcode scanned to read it back to me?
This QR code.
Yeah, oh sorry,
Yes,
QR code.
the QR code.
You're right, QR code.
You can actually, there are codes in here that are representative of your selections. And also, if we will have the chance to review your ballot using the audio feature of the device.
The poll worker gestures to headphones.
Perfect.
So now you're not done voting.
Okay.
So it's telling you to insert your ballot once again.
Okay.
So that we can go ahead and review and cast.
The ballot is inserted into a scanner.
And as we are interacting with the device, the instructions are also going on in this if you would like to use the audio feature of the device.
I also see in a couple places here some inputs. So if I have devices that I use, like a sip and puff, for example, can I hook that into the system?
Well, we have a placeholder for it, and we have, you can bring your own headphones. You can, in the future, if there is new technology that will allow us to use our USB, then we have that. The sip and puff is right here.
The poll worker points to an input at the bottom right of the machine.
So we thought of those things that you would most likely bring with you to the vote centers if you're if that would help you interact with the device.
Okay. So if I dare read back my printed ballot, this is going to read back to me what's in that QR code?
Yes.
Okay.
It will read back all your selections. And you would have to use our headphones.
Oh, I'm getting the headphones. Oh, it's reading to me my write-in. What type of features do you have on the audio? Can I speed it up or slow it down?
Yes.
Those types of things?
In fact, you can use it. We have it in Braille. You can increase the volume, and you can also speed up the way it's being read to you.
Oh, great, great.
Yeah.
Put that back because I'm ready to cast my ballot. And I moved it. There we go. All right, and so I'm just going to cast my ballot here.
The screen says casting your ballot. Then ballot has been cast.
And so when it casts my ballot, it actually drops it into a box that's on the back of the machine.
The screen now says congratulations with an I voted image and a reminder to pick up my I voted sticker.
Yes, we call that the integrated ballot box, and that is actually one of the features of this device is because we realized that the step of picking up the ballot and going to a separate community box is another step for everybody. But if you have it here, it eliminates that extra step, and especially for our voters with disabilities, that's one less step for them to do. So it drops it in the integrated ballot box, and they know that their vote and their ballot is safe in that box.
Great. Thank you so much.
Definitely, yes. Would you like to see some of the other features of this device?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
Take it away.
So we have what is called a poll pass.
The poll pass is just a piece of paper with a big QR code on it.
This allows you to pre-mark your, to choose your selections at the device, a tablet, a computer, or even your smartphone. And you're able to save all that information in a QR code. And when you go to the vote center, all you have to do, it's sort of like a fast voting experience, a faster voting experience if you are in a hurry and you just want to get it done real quick. So, well, actually, I would like you to do it.
All right.
So go through that process first.
All right, so I'm inserting this ballot.
Insert the ballot. So here you will choose that option. I have a poll pass, and it's telling you to scan your poll pass on the next screen.
So I'm going to hit start.
And it's telling you there's an animation which tells you where to scan your poll pass.
And it lit up for me here.
Yes.
So I'm just going to
So
put this. Oh,
here.
I was definitely trying to slide it into something.
You can either do a printout or you can do it on your phone.
Oh, wow.
So the QR code will also be available on your phone.
So with this system, I could actually make all my selections on my phone.
Yes, on your phone.
And then just bring in my phone with the QR code on the screen
Definitely.
and scan this. So that's really going to keep down wait times for voters.
Yes.
The lines are going to move a lot faster because now everyone will have to go through the full process on the screen
yes,
here.
that's the idea.
The screen now reads poll pass scanned.
Cool. So now I can review my selections.
And you see, you still have the chance to review it and change it if last
Okay,
minute
yep,
you
I can
changed your
change it
mind.
here.
Yeah, but if you're all happy with your selections, you can go ahead and hit next. And then you can print and verify your ballot. Next.
The nice thing about this for a lot of voters as well is that I can take the time with my ballot at home to really think through how I want to vote.
Definitely.
If I come across maybe a ballot measure that has language that's really confusing for me, as it is for the vast majority of voters, because of that amazing legalese that they're all written in, I can take the time to research it and decide how I feel about that issue. And actually make my selections before I come in. And then on election day, rather than panicking and thinking, what is this thing I have to vote on? I've already had the time to do my research. I can just bring in my QR code, but I can also, if I've changed my mind in the last week or so, then I have the option to make those changes.
Yes, that's correct. Very good. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like,
So
now
now
I verified.
you're not done. You haven't cast your ballot, so it's telling you to insert it again.
The screen says loading ballot and then ballot loaded.
All right.
Cast now.
And so then no matter how I completed my ballot, if I filled it out here today, if I brought in the pass, if I brought in a QR code on my phone, they ultimately all get translated into a ballot that look the same as every other voter's ballot.
Definitely.
Which I imagine, that goes a long way to protect my privacy as a voter as well. Great. Oh, and I see it says don't forget my sticker. The number one complaint of voters when you run out of stickers.
Yes, they always ask for the stickers. Yeah, and we should be asking for our stickers. It's our sign. We're proud that we have voted.
I love my sticker. I wear it all day when I vote.
So we have a couple more features that I would like to show
Sure.
you. Okay. Just grab another ballot. So if you can see here, we have 3 languages that are available on this device now, but in the future we have 12 languages, 11 plus English that we service in LA County. We are a very diverse county. So that would be really helpful for our voters who have language needs, who would like to hear their ballot or read their ballot in the language that they're comfortable with. We also have, you can also change this text size. If you would like a bigger text size, you can always change that. We also have, you can change the screen contrast.
Great.
So you can do that. And also this screen, you can tilt it back, tilt it forward.
Oh, cool.
The legs will accommodate wheelchair or any other stuff that you might have. We have the privacy shield. We have your headphones, but of course you can also bring in your own headphones. And yeah, we have the tactile keypad, which you can use to navigate your ballot within this system. So there are a lot of features in here that have been incorporated into the design to make sure that it's accessible for everybody. It's language accessible, and we have different features that will make sure that everyone gets the voting experience that they want, no matter what their needs are.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Michelle, Monica, and the poll worker stand in front of the voting system.
All right, well, thank you everyone for tuning in today. I actually have to get over to Future of California Elections at some point, or they're going to start wondering where I am. I'm sure Fred Neeson is already looking for me. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Monica and to Marianne Felix, who did our demo today. We appreciate it so much. If our viewers want to know more or they have questions, where can they learn more?
Sure, they can visit us at vsap.lavote.net, and that's vsap.lavote.net.
Great, thanks so much.